Welcome one and all to Umami Manga. I'm Petter and this is James.
Hello there.
And today we're talking about Volume 8 of Spy Family. Before we go into anything else, I'll just say that at the end of this episode, we'll have a podcast-related announcement. I'll save all the info about that for then. However, I will say that, we did, for those of you who also listen to Titan Tea Time, we recently had a podcast-related announcement in one of those about that podcast ending. This is not going to be one of those announcements, however, for Umami Manga. Umami Manga is not ending, I'll say that much.
We're splitting up!
No.
The band is never getting back together.
No, fret not, fret not. But anyway, it's so good to have a new Spy Family volume again. I feel like this one's moving relatively slow compared to some of the other ones, yeah. But man, this one made me laugh a lot, while at the same time kind of balancing that comedy with really great wholesomeness and amazing action sequences, as well as some kind of more serious parts that I really enjoyed as well. So it's just a real treat to read this one.
You know, I did not expect us to be on the cruise ship for an entire volume. That was not something I had thought of going into it. But man, this is like bloodbath cruise. Like it is insane how violent this is. I mean, it makes sense for yours profession, but my goodness, I feel like out of all the, I mean, it was still very funny and had some wholesome moments, but for me, it was just, man, this is brutal. This is some intense stuff, is what I was thinking.
It's true. Yeah, I also felt that way, especially on my first read. I think because I was a bit shocked, kind of, at just, the sheer brutality of some of the things that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be fair, we have seen You're at work before, although definitely not to this extent. So this one definitely showed it more than the others. Like, a lot of people were shown, getting killed, dying.
There was a lot
of
death.
Off the ships and like shit like that. It was pretty. I mean, it was exciting and fun for sure. And well, I guess we'll shed a little bit of light on the anime adaptation that's continued to air recently. Have you seen the first episode of it?
I haven't seen the first episode of the second core yet.
I'll say it was great. I'll also say this episode is recorded before the second episode of the second core is released, although it's probably going to release after that. But the first episode, I'll just say it was amazing. Like, on par with the first core's content. It was amazing. I had such a blast watching that. So yeah, super excited to keep watching some more Spy Family anime this season. And onto the characters. Starting with Anya Forger this time, obviously, since she's clearly the main character of this volume, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, it was awesome to see her kind of work more like up close like this, like more so than we'd really ever seen before. And like I think we got to understand even more than in the previous books just how skilled she is at what she does. It was pretty awesome.
It was cool seeing her in kind of her element in a way.
Yeah.
Granted, I think in previous volumes when we've seen her at work, she does kind of seem possessed. Is that the right word?
Fair.
She really gets into the whole I'm here to kill you. You're an enemy to the state. Kind of a situation. This one felt a lot more kind of mommy but also I'm gonna kill you at any site. I mean, not to say when Yor is in normal mode, she's not, gonna snap and tear your head off if you do anything to Anya.
Yeah.
But it kind of felt like she was a little more herself when she was with Shadi, but then quick to turn to her, bodyguard assassin situation. Anyway,
right. Yeah.
She was definitely in her element, and it was cool to see.
For sure. Yeah, and like about like some of her, I guess, abilities and like her about her capability when it comes to her work. Something we got to see here that I don't remember we had seen anything of before was this ability she has to sense like people's killing intent or like bloodlust from people. Like she can sense that, well, and supposedly some other people have that ability too. it seems a little bit supernatural, but at the same time, I mean, to a degree, I can see it being natural, since you could probably, like, if you're trained, you can probably, I guess, maybe see on someone's face expression or kind of like stuff like that. But it seemed like it was a little over the top here, where she walked into the room and she kind of felt just in the aura, like the aura, kind of, she felt like that bloodlust,
Interesting.
which I thought was, yeah, an interesting kind of ability of hers, sort of.
I kind of take it as just really refined instincts.
Fair.
But
yeah.
maybe I mean, to be fair, yours just inhuman strength that could be a superpower in and of itself. So
right.
I guess adding on something else wouldn't be that out of the question.
Right. Yeah. And at the same time, I'm not convinced that it's like actually like a superpower. Like it's not. In fact, I don't think it is like Anya's telepathy or Bond's future sight. I don't think it's quite on that level. But yeah, as you said, like with her strength, like that's already technically a superpower. Like, you know, like
wow.
But you know, it's manga, so you know,
Yeah.
I guess it's supposed to push the limits of what's technically possible anyway.
I mean, I guess just talking about some of her fighting scenes and just her being an assassin. I guess it's more of a bodyguard, but either way,
Okay.
you know, the scene where you had her going up against the chain guy, the, you know, pretend to be circus street performers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was great, but you know, it was just so well drawn, and yours movements were incredibly acrobatic, and while it was, you know, a fight to the death, it was very pleasant to see, I imagine. You know,
yeah. Thanks to Anya, really.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anya helped out with that, helped out her mom, but yeah, that was amazing. And then before that, when the food service, I for some reason the name is escaping me.
Room service.
Room service, that's it. When room service comes, they obviously was assassin. She ends up throwing her. What is that? Her Thorn? Like I don't know what you call her weapon, to be honest.
I don't really know the word for that either.
Either way, she throws it right through the door, through the guy's skull.
Yeah.
What? I mean, Endo is finding new ways to just amaze me at your strength and honestly the brutality of it all.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love this. I wonder how serious / dark this story will ever go. Like, at the most, like, because it pretty much since the start, there's always been hints toward more serious and dark kind of stuff. While obviously, as a whole, this manga is very lighthearted and kind of wholesome and funny. But still, there is so much kind of that I feel it exists beneath the surface in the story that it could go really dark and serious if it wanted to.
It's true. You're right. Yeah, it could I don't think it would, but it could go, you know, kind of the disturbing route too.
Right.
If you were to go into Anya's backstory, or, you know, more well, I mean, for all we have no idea what could happen between a Yor and Loid conflict, if that would ever to happen. But that could be some pretty heavy stuff. So there's a lot of potential for it, and I'm not saying that it has to go like that. It's just there's a lot of ways it could go, if it wanted to, or it can just stick with the kind of tone and the theme it is going for, and still be great.
Yeah, and it's like I also don't really expect it to turn super dark. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder, like, how would that be? Like, what would that be like? Because
yeah,
I don't know. It could be interesting.
I agree.
But yeah, anyway, back to your, she looked pretty sad when Olka pointed out that her family is just for show, like it's just for her cover identity, and she continued to kind of ponder that during that night when she stood guard in the room, and she was thinking about Loid and Anya at the same time as she was also thinking about Yuri, which I felt was a pretty strong indication that she thinks of them in this, or in a similar way that he thinks of, or that she thinks of Yuri. which is some kind of a love or affectionate feelings, right? Obviously, we've discussed this before, and there's definitely been hints before toward some kind of progression in her feelings toward her fake family, technically. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought this kind of I felt like this one took it like at least a little step further.
Oh, absolutely. I think that this arc has given a lot for Yor to think about. Is her
Yeah.
family just for show, or does she actually care for them?
Hmm.
And I think as the story has gone forward, it almost felt like from the very beginning she kind of, because she's just a sweet person that she kind of cared for them. But I think
Hmm.
definitely by this point, it's clear to me that she has affection for Loid and Anya.
Yeah.
And parting with them would probably not be easy for her, as she kind of contemplated towards the end of the volume.
Precisely.
There was another question that I felt like she was pondering. Oh yeah, there was a moment where she was deeply thinking about why she's even doing this job,
Precisely.
and obviously she thinks about her brother as well. But instead of deciding to stop, she finds kind of a new motivation to keep going with the assassination gig, or keep fighting against these rotten individuals.
Yeah.
And she kind of reaffirms her motivation to protect the carefree life of others, and I think that extends, well, I think she's thinking about that extending to Loid and Anya.
Definitely. I love that like a lot. Like the fact that she actually questioned, like she asked herself why she was doing her assassin job, and kind
Mm-hmm.
of how through kind of recalling Olka's words about you just wanting to live a quiet life, she kind of understood that she's doing it like she is killing bad people in order to give the people that she cares for a life that where they can be safe, kind of. And yeah, again, yeah, she thought of Yuri, Anya, and Loid, and Bond, in that
And Bond, yeah.
in that moment. So yeah, that was lovely, and so epic when she you grabbed the sword and you stood up,
Oh yeah.
like, just crushed the sword in her hand.
I was kind of mad the volume ended there. I was like,
Yeah,
frick.
but I especially what I especially loved about that moment was how she like her thoughts went back to when she and Loid got married, kind of
Oh.
on that back alley. Like I'm at least I'm
Mm-hmm.
quite sure that's what she was recalling it in that moment. She thought about Loid and how Loid would most likely respect and understand this choice that she's making in that
Mm.
moment. In that part, I'm pretty sure her thoughts went back to to the wedding.
I or was that like at the party before they got engaged, if
Oh,
you will?
that
Maybe that
may
was at the
have been,
party.
may have actually that may have been it actually. At least it's from around like that day.
It's around
I
that.
think.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It seemed like that at least. Yeah, yeah.
Well, what's interesting, you bring that up, and one, I thought that was very sweet,
Mm-hmm.
but I also think that her reasoning for doing the job, protect the carefree life of others, is similar to why Loid is doing his job as a spy, because he doesn't want any child to cry again. So they
Yeah.
have very similar goals in mind. Now, they're kind of playing for the opposite team here, but they're still individuals who think and feel very similarly.
That's really funny that you say that. I agree completely, and I hadn't
And you
taken.
also disagree? No,
No, no, I don't disagree at all.
Okay.
I just hadn't noted that down. However, what I did note down was that uh, your and her brother Yuri have a very like they have a very similar way of showing love, um,
Ah,
in how they well yeah, and as you said, as Twilight or your Loid does as well, they make the world a better place in order to give their loved ones a more carefree life.
yeah,
It's true
yeah,
really for all three of those characters.
absolutely.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, like Yuri didn't have a whole lot. He got like that short chapter in this volume. I
Hmm.
don't actually have any notes for him. I don't know if you have much. Like I don't know because yeah, the only note I have had about him was just this, and it was so tied to your as well. So that's why I mentioned it here.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll say that. Well, I really don't have much other than it was a sweet moment. like a sweet flashback to them growing up with each other and how much they, care about each other. And yeah, just and who gets a cold because their sister's away? Like, what?
Only Yuri.
Not only should you never be down that bad, you shouldn't be down that bad ever for your sister. Like, come on. Anyway, only I can be down that bad. No, for your.
Not for your sister.
Not for my sister. Oh gosh, I put the asterisk there.
Yes.
Going back to your real quick.
Yes.
I had kind of made the assumption or prediction that during this volume, and this is when we had our volume 7 discussion, heading into this arc, I was thinking maybe this would be kind of a turning point for Yor to make her want to quit being an assassin and maybe just focus on being a mother to Anya. And that could lead to some interesting kind of moments against her organization's the Garden. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Garden, whatever. However, after this volume, I mean, granted, this arc isn't over, but after this volume, it feels like her resolution has only been strengthened and her, motivation is as strong as ever. So she's going to stay at Assassin with them. I am curious to see how Garden plays a role going forward. It does feel, especially the God, what was I remember, it's been so long since the volume 7. The guy who gives her orders, he's kind of the head honcho of that organization. What was it? He wasn't the gardener.
I believe maybe he was referred to as the gardener. Maybe he was referred to as Mr. Green.
Here, let me.
Or maybe I'm making this up.
I'm going to scroll down to my notes. Shopkeeper, that's what his name.
Shopkeeper. That's true. That's what he always was when she talked to him on the phone and everything. Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
There was a Mr. Green though, but totally unrelated.
Who was Mr. Green again?
He was the guy that went camping with Damien.
Oh, that's right. That was Mr. Green. I just knew there wasn't
Good
Mr.
memory.
Green in that book. That's right.
Well, I have no speculation about Mr. Green, but as for the shopkeeper, it just seems kind of sinister in a way. Maybe that's just the vibe. He's like, I just have a bad guy face. I can't help it. No.
Right. Yeah.
I just thought that maybe he would be some sort of antagonist for the family. But if Yor is really dead set on continuing the assassination job and doing it to protect her family and the peaceful life of others, then I guess not. The show continues on. So I guess for now that guess of mine is something that I'll put on the shelf and maybe we'll come back to it later, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Right. Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing more of the Garden in general.
Yeah.
And I expected we would see more of it in this book, or at least learn more about it, but there wasn't a whole lot. Like, there was Matthew McMahon, like the director, like we got to know him, so that's, I guess, through him we got a little bit of more of an insight into the Garden, but not as much as I had thought back when we had finished volume 7.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else on Yor?
After all that fighting, towards the end of the volume, she only jammed a finger.
Yeah, that's right.
That was such a injury to insult kind of thing. But I don't know if that was the reason why the katana guy got the upper hand on her and she lost her grip. Maybe that's why she couldn't hold on to her weapon.
I didn't put it
if that
together.
was, then that little thing is what put her at the edge there. But
right, I mean, it might have been.
But then, of course, her super strength comes in, and as we mentioned already. Yeah, I think that's all I have on Yor. Actually, how can we forget that your outfit? Oh my gosh, like
yes,
slay.
Yeah, the dress that she wears in the final battle here.
That dress is actually very good, but I really liked when there was just two moms having fun.
Oh, that one.
Two moms fun. She has like, I think it was a sundress. I don't know. I don't wear dresses, surprisingly, so I don't know the names.
Right,
but yeah, I mean, she killed it.
She did, honestly.
She killed it a lot of ways.
All of her outfits in this,
yeah.
I will say I was a little bit surprised to see her wearing her like Thorn Princess outfit, like just out in public throughout like the middle part of this volume.
It's standard uniform, like the company policy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but, I mean, it was nice to see her wearing like her Thorn Princess get up some more here, but I liked her like the last dress she wore surprisingly much. Like that was probably my favorite outfit in this book from her.
No, you're right. It's really good. Would like to see again.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll see it at least in the beginning of the next book. So then let's move on to Olka Gretcher.
So just to clarify, she's changed her name to Shati or Shati, however it's supposed to be pronounced.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, we can call her Olka. I don't care, but like when she leaves a new life, she's not gonna go back to Olka. She's gonna.
That's a fair point.
She's gonna keep saying Shati.
True.
I don't know.
But just the fact that she and Zeb kept calling each other Olka and Zeb.
You're right.
They know each other. Like, and with that, I felt like that was more so their identities more than the fake or the new ones. But that's fair. I mean, I think either is okay to call them like just readers of the
absolutely, absolutely. There's no like wrong answer here.
Yeah.
I guess like just for listeners to understand why I was calling her Shati.
Right, yeah. And hey, like if you call her Shati and I call her Olka, that's fine. We can call her different things.
I don't. That kind of feels like a fight, So I'm just gonna call her Olka.
Okay.
And we're gonna
Gotcha.
move on.
All
but
right.
just to clarify, she
Fair.
changed her name. Not just her name, but apparently her face and her hair. Like plastic surgery, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I assumed that as well. Like, yeah, because her she had that whole thing about her baby shouldn't be able to recognize her, but he still does. And that was, I mean, extreme measures, but extreme situations as well. So I understand, I guess, but still, yeah, it's pretty intense.
Right. So her husband was killed as part of the underground upheaval, and that's why she's fleeing. Really sad when you think about it, but you also wonder what exactly is this underground per se. What were they doing? But I guess it's very interesting because in Zeb's flashback, you see that Olka's family was actually trying to help people in the war, giving food out and making sure people were safe after destruction had occurred.
Right. Yeah.
Very, very interesting side of it all. Despite all the crimes, I guess they, community, family.
I mean, it may have also been like a way to recruit people or like to get people on their good side. Like, maybe.
That's true. Definitely. I mean, marketing.
Yeah.
I could totally see that as well. But she's leaving to live a new life, raise her son. I don't know where they're going to. I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't think that was specified.
Is.
Right. It's probably not in Ostania or Westalis, like it's elsewhere. I think.
But she's kind of this one. I guess we did bring this up, but she's the one to give Yor this idea of just wanting to live a carefree life. Not to say that's what Yor is wanting, although I would love for her to come to that realization as well. That she could want that kind of thing too.
Right.
But it kind of helps motivate Yor to have that change, that resolve in herself.
Exactly, because it's that kind of a lifestyle that she wants to kind of be able to give to the people that she cares for.
Right. Exactly. I get wanting fresh air, and the baby was crying and all that, but you gotta understand your situation. Like,
yeah.
Don't go outside.
I felt the same way. I was like, yeah, this is like if you just stay in it for like 2 or 3 days, like just kind of hang in there. But no, she had to go outside.
To Endo's credit, he did give Olka a lot of reasons to give her like arguments in that, she felt like she was already free, or she just kind of wanted to be rid of it already. And the baby was crying, and so there was reasons, but at the end of the day, the smart move would have been to stay in the room.
It would have.
But anyway, we wouldn't have gotten these cool action scenes otherwise.
Exactly. You kind of need characters like that sometimes.
or Senor in her very nice dress. So just
that
saying.
too. Precisely.
There's a reason.
Yes.
I think that's all I have on Olka.
Right, me as well. Then let's move on to Zeb. Or what was this new name?
Furcio, that is not a name I'm familiar with.
It was, yeah.
He's a childhood friend of Olka, although he seems to be a little bit younger than she is.
I think so, yeah. Maybe like a few years, maybe.
Although you wouldn't be able to tell now.
No.
But I think it's probably fairly obvious, but he secretly loves her.
Absolutely. Yeah, because when we learned about that, or like when we learned about like their backstory, kind of how Olka saved him in the past, and we got like, and yeah, that it seemed pretty obvious that he has feelings for her. Mm-hmm. I got some pretty serious death flag vibes. In that moment. So when he later on, like near the end of this book, when he risked his life to save her and like jumped in front of the bullets, like I was like, no! I think I screamed out loud a little bit. I was convinced that would have killed him, just especially based on the previous supposed death flag. Really glad that he seems to be holding up though.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank goodness for bulletproof vests.
Yeah, he's in pain, but he'll be fine, I think.
Right. I think Endo did that on purpose, like set it up to be a death flag.
He must,
but then didn't have him die. I wouldn't be surprised if that was.
Yeah, especially since both of us picked up on that, or both of us felt that way about that moment. Yeah, yeah, that was really well done.
And I guess because of that love that he has for her, that was the reason why he went into the underground in the first place, and I guess his debt to the original boss and whatnot. But now it seems he's just sticking to his loyalty. He's sticking to his crush, Olka. And I don't know exactly what the future is planned for those two, but I feel like he can be a good father for the baby whose name escapes me. Bram or something.
Graham, I think.
Graham, that's what it was. Yeah.
But yeah, that would be nice.
Seems to be a chicken, like a bit of a scaredy cat, but there was a couple moments where he sees like Olka kind of shaking a little bit, and then he starts acting like a chicken. So I don't know if he's just putting on an act, but then there's other moments where he was pretty quick to jump. So I don't know.
True. Yeah. Right. I mean, a couple of those times it seemed like he was genuinely a scaredy cat, but I also noticed that at least one time when it seemed it kind of I also got the feeling that he just kind of played it up for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, when it counts, he'll do good, as we saw.
Yeah. Although he is prone to mistakes because he was the one. Well, I guess we don't know for a fact, but because he contacted his family, at some point, they were able to, or these enemy spies or assassins, whatever, were able to pick up on the fact that they were going to be on this cruise ship at this time. That's what I understood.
Yeah, like that's the only reason that we know that may have been the case, or the reason for it. Yeah. So yeah, he goofed up supposedly, but oh well. At the same time, I understand he's never gonna see his parents ever again. Like wanting to say goodbye, like I can understand that he didn't say that where they were going, and probably not that they were going on this cruise ship.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Sucks, but oh well. And then last thing I'll say is he mentions the new mob boss Hapoon.
Right.
Hapoon. Something.
I don't know exactly how to say it. Yeah.
It looks like harpoon without the R.
Yeah.
Who apparently is working with the pro-war extremists.
Right. Right.
And I wonder if that might be a plot point later on.
Oh,
Like not
yeah.
maybe not so much with Zeb and Olka, but maybe for the Forger family to butt heads against eventually again.
Precisely, yeah, because Harpoon might be working close with Donovan Desmond, supposedly.
Oh,
maybe.
or even that. Like, yeah, bring it right with there. I mean,
because he is also he's threatening the peace between East and West.
Yeah.
And Harpoon, I suppose, might have similar desires.
Or at least is buddy with those people, like, willing to take their money, kind of a thing.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
That's all I got.
Cool. Then let's talk about Matthew McMahon. McMahon. Yeah. I struggle with that name of it.
Strange spelling. Like, I mean, well, it's not strange. Yeah. It's strange because it's actually how we would spell it probably in America. Like, I know I've met McMahons before, and that's how they spelled it.
God, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of strange spellings. I think especially for last names.
I don't know if it's like Irish or Scottish or something, but...
Yeah, right.
There you go. Maybe. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Kind of old dude, but I'm sure he was a very, very, very good assassin in his youth. I love how experienced he is. Like it really shows that he's probably worked with in this profession since maybe like his teens or at the very least his early 20s. Like he's been in this industry kind of for a long time, and he just knows how everything should be done and how it is done. And like, yeah, just how he's always so kind of calm and collected. Even though like Yor is probably a more capable fighter than he is, he still shows so much kind of authority, kind of, and just skill in other areas besides. I mean, he's a skilled fighter too, but just in general, man, I'm kind of sold on him after this book, honestly.
No, he's a great character. I like his line, whether wartime or peace. Well, I guess I'm not really quoting him exactly, but basically he says, whether wartime or peace, they will fight for their country. I don't know. It just kind of gave me pause to think about their job and their perspective on the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're there to maintain peace in a way. I guess it could be debated on who they're fighting for exactly. Who dictates what is peace and what is not, The
shopkeeper. Yeah.
The shopkeeper, I guess. Who's he? Does he have to answer to anybody? I don't know. Anyway.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I like that line. He reminds me of kind of an athletic Alfred from Batman.
Yeah.
Like, this could be one of those alternate dimension Alfreds, that's just really, really capable.
Totally. Yeah, where he fights alongside Batman.
Yeah.
There was actually, like, there was like a final little bonus page at the end of the physical book where usually Endo goes over some of the character designs and, like, shows some concept art of some characters, like, a little stuff like that. And he had something to say about McMahon, basically that he didn't know that he would be as prominent in this arc as he became. And he said that if he had known how big of a role he would play, he would have liked to have kind of spent more time on his character design, making his character design more unique, I guess. But I mean, I think he has a good design anyway.
Yeah, it definitely, to me, it definitely felt like he was more of a background character. And then as the pages kept turning and he kept having things to do, it was like, oh, wow, okay, I guess he's more in this than I thought.
Right, yeah, especially like that one time when he like starts cracking like the limbs of that one guy. That hitman, I think it was with that scene I was like, okay, this is an interesting character, and I like this guy. He's so ruthless, but I love it.
It's like yes or no questions, and he gives a. You have to give a straight answer, like this is not a yes or no. And then, oh, sorry, That wasn't yes or no.
Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah. Yeah, that was so awesome. But near the end of the book, he was whacked pretty hard by that guy with the sword. And I hope he's all right.
Yeah, old people, man, like they're only one hit away from that grave.
Yeah, maybe. But not. Ultimately, I think he's gonna be fine. He's not gonna be able to fight anymore in this kind of part, I don't think, but I think he's gonna survive. It's my hope, at least here.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's gonna die. I'd be surprised if he did.
True. Yeah. Right. Anyway, anything else on Matthew McMahon?
Nope.
Then let's move on to Anya Forger.
Anya!
What do you got on her?
It's her greatest and most heroic adventure yet.
Yes. Yeah.
In a way, she was acting like a typical, gosh, how old is she supposed to be? 5, 6-year-old?
Mm.
But at the same time, she was doing it in the most Anya way ever, and just, trying to help her mom, and obviously she was doing it for her own benefit and try to keep their family together. But just it was really just classic Anya in so many ways, and I just have so many comedic moments from her.
Precisely, yeah, that's really most of what it is. But I think for me, like the really the one most substantial thing that I thought we got from her in this volume was how she managed to make to make sure that Loid didn't see or fight that hitman, and on top of that, she was also able to kind of make the passengers around think that it was all a performance. Like that entire thing, I think she just pulled that off really well, and yeah, she should be commended for that. But that's not the life of a spy. You go, your good deeds go unrecognized in that line of work.
Yeah, honestly, that's exactly what's happening with Anya. Like,
yeah.
I mean, some of her deeds are not necessarily like that important, meaning that to her it's like super like, oh, I gotta do this, otherwise my family's gonna be torn apart.
Yeah.
But in some cases it's like, yes, absolutely, it's so glad you're doing all this. Like you like, for example, with the bomb, and when she was writing on Bond, that whole arc, that was super key. Like if she hadn't done that, then yeah, Loid would have perished. But
true. Yeah.
so she has those moments, and I feel like this cruise, definitely that moment with the circus performers, that was definitely a shining moment for her.
Absolutely, yeah.
I have a quick personal experience that relates to Anya's with that skeleton key.
Oh.
So when I was living in Japan, our kind of first, how could I say, station there, we for some reason went on a cruise for like a day. I think we were able to spend the night, but then we came back home afterwards. Like it was like the cruise ship was just at the port or whatever. I don't know. It was maybe some military discount thing. But I distinctly remember going to a gift shop and just seeing like all these random like knickknacks similar to the skeleton thing.
Oh.
And I ended up getting like this little sword with an eagle at the hilt. Kind of, it had like a little fake red gem in the middle, like in the center of the eagle. It was like one of the coolest things ever. And I guess I ended up my dad or somebody ended up getting a souvenir for me. And
nice.
I don't know. I think I may have that somewhere in one of my just random little boxes.
Oh.
But I've carried it with me all these years.
Oh.
So yeah, it's kind of true that these cruise ships, I guess, sell these random little knickknacks. I don't know if it's like a Japanese cruise thing or if this actually is things that happens around the world, but this was definitely relatable to me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can imagine that's probably true outside of Japan as well in these types of places. But that's cool. I'm how you can relate to that.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else on Anya?
No, that's it.
Then a bit on Loid. He well, I have one single thing on him, and it's that he admitted to feeling lonely when they were having dinner without Yor. I mean, to be fair, I guess Anya kind of baited him into saying that, but still, he did say that. Like he did say that it was a bit lonesome without Yor around, and I don't think he would have said that without any reason behind it. So
Maybe, yeah.
like not entirely. So I feel like sure we have more reason to think that there's affection from yours end of it so far, but still I'm choosing to pick up on some of these little hints from Loid as well.
I mean, I think for sure that Loid is very much attached to his family at this point. He just doesn't realize it yet. I think we've mentioned that in previous discussions. But I think in this instance in particular, I don't know, maybe that was his true feelings coming out. But also, I mean, what is he supposed to say when Anya says that? Like, I don't know. Shut up and eat your food. Like, I don't know. Like, it did kind of feel baited in a way.
I mean, yeah, so. Right. But a little bit of truth to it, though, I believe.
Yeah. To me, it was just funny just seeing him so dead focused on understanding Anya, and Anya's the ultimate unknown. And
that was really funny.
Yeah.
Gotta observe.
Analyze. Yeah, so I guess life's kind of hard for him on this cruise. But how in the world does he not notice all the fighting going on? He's just completely oblivious to it.
Yeah.
Mr. Best spy in the entire world, and he has no idea what's going on under his nose. Like, come on. Yeah. He picks up on the surveillance cameras.
Right, yeah.
Or the hearing devices or whatever.
Right. Yeah, but I think because of his other worries, like he gets distracted, like because he's all he worries that they'll hear him act like he's not a real father and stuff like that, and I think that worry distracts him from what's really going on or from doing any kind of actual spy work.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely the excuse, but I don't really buy it. I've said this multiple times. How has he not figured out that Yor is something other than just a regular, I don't know, woman? What is a regular woman? Like, this doesn't make sense. But anyway, it's just a thing. It's just a story, and it's not that big of a deal.
I mean, I think Yor is just too chaotic to be able to really read in a sensible way.
If Yor's chaotic, what is Anya?
Well, yeah. Right, and that's why he hasn't figured out that Anya has superpowers. Either.
True. Yeah, that's true. That was another one of my things. I think Anya's chaotic. Yor is, well, I was gonna say unpredictable, but maybe is Anya more unpredictable? I don't know.
Oh, I mean,
it's predictable that should be unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. Anyway, yeah, but at the same time, like the fireworks, that happening at the same time as the onslaught on the top deck, which we didn't mention yet, but excellently choreographed. Is that the right? Maybe not the right word. But
yeah, no, but I think it is.
To go, the panels that go along with the happenings of the fireworks, the casino, and everything. It was pretty brilliant.
It was so good.
So in that sense, and with all that noise going on, although I would expect Loid in any other circumstances to be able to pick up on that, I'll give him the credit for not being able to pick up on it during the fireworks.
Yeah, he gets a pass on that one.
He gets a pass.
That all on him?
Yeah.
Then let's move on to Frankie a bit. He was absolutely ecstatic to be on the volume cover of this volume.
He was.
There was did you also get like that bonus page that showed just how absolutely he was so happy?
No, I never got that. I just thought he looked just super snazzy on the cover and everything.
True. Yeah, the cover itself kind of shows. Yeah, he's just very content and kind of proud with himself, probably because of
Yeah.
that. But there was a bonus page at the very end, or near the very end of the book, where he's just jumping with joy at the opportunity to be on the volume cover. Yeah, and he's hoping that he'll appear on the next volume cover as well. I happen to know that he won't, but
Yeah. Who knows how long until he'll be on the cover again.
Yeah.
Final volume when everybody's on the cover.
In the corner or something. Yeah. But yeah, he got literally 2 pages in this volume together with Bond. But yeah, I guess that was a pretty funny scene.
Picking up ladies with Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much despite being on the cover, but I guess he'll take it.
He absolutely will. I guess we're moving on.
Yeah.
And really, I only have one other or two other, but I'll mention them at the same time. Really, just to mention Heyman and Vides or Vidas or however it's supposed to be pronounced. Those 2 guys, who were really kind of, I don't know. I honestly am not really sure, like, what their significance in this book was exactly. Like, they were kind of around, completely like in the dark on everything that was going on, and they won the jackpot at the casino at the end. More than that, I don't really see the point of them, but I don't know.
Oh,
do you have anything?
Yeah, I think it's part of the disguise in that, you know, Shotty and Gray were supposed to be like these big wig like people, and the government, I can't remember if it's government or bank or whatever. They're just supposed to, you know, make them feel at home and custom, and basically just entertain them and make the company look good is what their job was supposed to be. I mean, I feel like that is a common occurrence even today.
Fair.
So I think that was the extent of their role, but when they were told that, well, they want to be by themselves, so you're free to go, kind of a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit funny.
I think it's just part of the disguise, I guess.
Right. Yeah. That's fair. That's true. I guess there's nothing else on them though, or
no, I didn't have anything on them.
No. Well, is there any other character that you want to talk about?
I mean, just briefly, the 2 assassins that seem to be causing, well, I guess there's 3 that seem to be causing the most trouble. The one who's just listening in on everything.
That way, yeah.
The super sniffer guy who seems to be the instigator,
right,
kind of just taking the lead. And then the katana guy at the end, although I don't think he's gonna last very long. How the volume ends.
He seemed more like a hired arm, or like just a muscle. Like he I don't know how much of a brain he had compared to like those first 2 that you mentioned. I think were definitely more characters,
right?
Like to a bigger extent.
Yeah.
But still, yeah.
Although to the katana guy's credit, I mean, you even said that this guy is in a league of his own. Like True. Probably a little closer to her. I'm not gonna say that he's in the same league as her.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's true though. But yeah, those first 2 that you mentioned, especially, that they were interesting. I didn't take any notes for them, but
no, I didn't either. Well, except for a little bit.
I mean, I did like the design a lot of the leader guy. Like he had this, like, I don't know. Sometimes he looked kind of nice and just kind of like a nice guy, but then his face sometimes would just turn like super mad and evil and crazy.
Yeah. There was that one panel where after he gets a good sniff of them passing by and he puts 2 and 2 together, he just gets this sinister grin.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh gosh.
I love that.
Very bad guy look.
Yeah, definitely.
It was good.
Yeah. And I surprisingly, I love his. I like his character design a lot. Like, he just looks really good for the type of role that he is. And the guy who was just listening in on everything. I don't know if they were setting anything up, but he was listening in on 2 guys who were kind of discussing, or like, I can't remember exactly now, but he heard them over. He overheard them talking about something like, overthrowing the others or something like that.
Oh.
Or what was it? It wasn't exactly that.
I can't remember. There was a lot of conversation he was listening to.
He was listening in on like two of the other hitmen, and I got the feeling that he was gonna like do something himself about some of those other hitmen, like, or some, I don't know.
Let me find that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too. I don't know where it is though exactly.
I believe it's chapter 49.
Oh.
And he says that there are a few dim bulbs on every team, I suppose.
Precisely.
I guess I'll need to prepare for that.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like either he's going to betray them. To me, it sounds like he's either going to betray them or he's preparing for a getaway because it may not, because of the dim bulbs, it may not work out. Yeah. That's how I interpreted it. How are you interpreting it differently?
I mean, I didn't give it too much thought, but just the feeling I got with that was that he would do something that would affect the situation in a way that we maybe wouldn't have anticipated, perhaps.
Because it sounds like these hitmen are like gonna take him out in some.
Precisely, yeah. They seem to can be, yeah. They want to get rid of him somehow. So which makes me think that he would turn on them, or at least not all of them, but some of those guys that he has overheard saying things like that. Which, I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna be like join the good guys or anything like that, but he would do something that, I don't know, maybe like set off an explosion on the ship or like, I don't know. Though at this point it seems like this arc is mostly over, so I don't know anymore. But at the time when that happened, I was like, okay, he's gonna do something. But right now, I don't know. I guess.
Maybe it's just about making a getaway, you know.
True, could just be that.
And to be fair, like, he kind of has a design that I wouldn't be surprised if he would appear later on, or if he's not caught in this volume and nothing happens to him. I wouldn't be surprised if he would appear again in a different point in time.
True. That could be nice. So I guess that's all for the characters, though?
Yeah.
Awesome. Then let's jump into the comedy.
It's even got an ocean.
It has even got an ocean. Oh my god. Anya is really, oh god, she was so funny in this book. Just in so many ways. She was scaring the passengers on the ship, saying that the ship will sink. Like,
we have to finish exploring before the ship sinks. Don't say that.
And just, it's so funny, just the combination of seeing like the reactions of the people around, as well as Loid's just face of being like, no, stop it. Like, you can't just do that. You can't just say that. And Loid trying his best to be a normal, funny dad. Like, I thought that was so funny. Like, getting the skeleton keychain and getting the fun outfit.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Oh, and like all of his doubts and like his thought monologue, like along with that, was also so funny.
I think Anya broke his soul after dissing his new look. Like, yeah. You could just see the moment his soul breaks.
Absolutely. And yeah, I like Anya's face. Like, I mean, she has a lot of great faces, but I especially love the one when she turns back toward Loid, with all that sweat in her face.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, when she's trying to make sure that he doesn't see your fight Barnaby. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like he's like, what does that expression even mean? Poor Loid.
I loved Anya's tired face in this one. I mean, she's made a lot of good tired faces, but this is a good one. She's just like just ready to fall asleep. He's okay. It's time for girls like you to be in bed. He's like, no, I got my adventure to do. Wham! And then just falls asleep.
I could hear that when I read it. It was so good. I also loved how she misunderstands like some words with that Barnaby hitman. I'll frog you right to death. He said flog, but she thought it was frog, and like it was the visuals with the chained frog was so funny.
That's another instance where I wonder I wonder what the Japanese said.
Exactly. And like it's so cool. Like, and we've talked about this before, how the translators or localization team or whatever, they do such a good job at making all these puns really work.
Hmm.
Like in several of the previous books as well. Like I've been surprised, really honestly positively surprised at how well a lot of these ones work, because I mean, I feel like usually it's hard to pull that off in translation, but it works
Mm-hmm.
perfectly along with the images.
Yeah.
There was also like the Swole
Swole
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
Yeah. That was a
I'll
classic.
never
But
forget.
there's been other stuff as well. Like that's not the only other example. But yeah, it was great. And actually, in that moment when she was imagining the Barnaby hitman, like using the chained frog, and how Loid would say to Yor, like, you're a hitman and you hate frogs, I'm leaving you. The Forger family is over. When I read that line, since I had frogs on my mind, I read it as the Frogger family is over. I was like, wait a minute. But yeah.
Everything is frogs.
Yeah. And actually another one of those kind of, I guess, pun words, although I guess this one might have been the same in Japanese potentially, is how she said, or I guess I don't know if it would have been the same in Japanese. Either way, how she said at the beginning of the volume, even our room is sweet, because she had heard someone say like the sweet about their room.
Oh, I
I thought
didn't pick up
that was
on
pretty
that.
funny. Oh, that's another pun that really worked.
My pun game is lacking. I'm gonna go back to that moment real quick.
Yeah, it's very early on.
Yeah, you're right. They even put in quotation "sweet."
Right.
Oh, why didn't I?
Because she must have overheard someone
yeah,
use the
the
say
sweet.
that.
Yeah, the localization is very good with the puns and
Really
making
is.
it still match with the Japanese, the original Japanese. I feel like, yeah,
Right,
I'm
yeah,
sure
whatever it
there's
is, yeah.
I'm sure there's someone out there who's like, that's not what the actual Japanese says. And
Yeah.
to be fair, like I can get that way sometimes too, especially if I know, okay, there's no way that's what it said. But I feel like with Spy Family, they've taken a lot of care
Yeah.
into doing this right in comparison to maybe some other official publications. But
hmm
it is what it is.
Yeah, it works so well. Like, it's never felt weird at all. In fact, it kind of feels like it was made for English, which,
Oh,
at least to me,
yeah.
I know it isn't, but
I can see what you're
the fact
saying.
that it kind of feels that way to me really just shows how well done it is.
It might help that this setting is very much European based. I mean,
True.
to be fair, like it does have like a Japanese idea of what Europe is sometimes, but
Yeah.
um, still, maybe that helps a little bit.
Yeah, it may.
Uh,
Absolutely may. Um, Anya trying to distract Loid so that she could slip away, like only for her to get distracted instead.
it was
I
so
thought that was
good.
so funny, and how she said, "I can't believe I fell for Papa's trap and wasted half the day goofing."
Goofy. They have goof putting.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I love it so much.
I love how upset she gets with the golf. Like,
Is it already done?
I will get the ball in the hole. And just how she just angrily eats.
Yeah.
I've already wasted the whole day.
It's so good.
Going back to closer to the beginning of the volume, when Yor is going through the masquerade party and she basically grabs some guy's hands and does a little dance and then like squeezes his hand, crushes his hands. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it could have been me. It could have been me.
Oh no!
For free? For real?
Oh, wow! Yeah.
But seriously, I like the line. I'm afraid of a married woman that just like crushes his hand. Like,
Yeah, it is great. But it could have been you, James.
It could have been me. I'll never be Loid, but I could have been that guy.
Yeah, I mean, at least he survived, unlike a lot of the other hitmen.
I mean, gosh, how can you move on though? I mean, for just holding hands is one of the most lewd things you can do, right?
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I'll never be the same.
No. Yeah. I also loved how McMahon started swabbing the deck while the battle was still going on.
Oh my gosh,
that was so great.
Oh,
he was
so
fighting and cleaning at the same time. Love that.
When the one assassin just spews poison in yours face, she's like, that was so rude.
Yeah. That was rude. How dare
you?
I thought it was also really funny how in that scene there were at least two of the hitmen opponents who they started introducing themselves as if though they were kind of hot stuff, but they were killed in a single panel. It was so funny. Oh gosh, yeah. I think I'm out of notes for comedy, but go for whatever you got if there's anything.
I think that's all the ones I want to mention. I mean, we already talked about the street performing. That was great, and then the whole fireworks and bloodbath stuff that was
absolutely
funny in its own right. I think in a way.
For sure. Can't wait to see all that animated.
Yeah.
So eventually, thinking, hopefully.
Oh, what are Wit and Cloverwork gonna do with that whole arc?
Do you think it's possible this might be the finale kind of ish of the second core of this season?
You really think so?
Maybe.
Are they gonna get past?
Could it get that far? I wonder if it will get that far. I think it's possible, though it's definitely not guaranteed.
I don't think they're gonna get past tennis.
What?
I think they'll do tennis, but I don't know if that'll be the end. But I don't know. I don't think they'll get close to. The cruise, in my opinion.
That's possible. They may get into volume 6. And the tennis stuff, and finish off Fiona's kind of bit there.
Yeah, because I think Fiona's gonna be in it.
She definitely will, because she's in the opening and ending sequences.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen the ending yet, but I saw her in the opening. Yeah.
And in the the promotional art and everything. So she's definitely we're definitely gonna reach Fiona, which. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for that.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be good.
We mentioned earlier how the pacing of the volume releases has been kind of slow, and just the chapter release has been slow. I don't know if you've paid attention to the release schedule, but they just come out at a somewhat slow pace. I mean, I'm glad that or at least I hope that. Endo's not overworking himself in any way, so if it's a good schedule for him that he can still enjoy his life, then yes, please.
For sure.
But at the same time, it is not releasing incredibly fast, so it makes me wonder when we finish this second core of Spy Family, man, how long are we gonna wait? Because there's no way they won't do this season 2. It's too successful. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, how long?
Precisely, yeah. May have to wait for probably
a few years
for the manga to do more stuff. Yeah, for it to cover. True. Although it has been, or at least the first course of the season has been, or it was pretty good at kind of doing filler without it feeling like a drag at all.
True.
So as long as it just does it a little bit here and there, like they did in that first core, I think that's perfectly fine to just I guess to slow down the pace a little bit for the anime, because I do think they made it work really well for that part.
Absolutely. Daddy.
Yes.
Daddy.
Bill. I feel so sorry for him.
It was even funnier in the anime.
It was hearing the voice and getting the backstory flashbacks.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I don't know why that's one of the best moments from the anime. There's so many good ones though.
Yeah. There.
This is something becoming anime discussion, but the saving Anya from the bad guy and the whole castle's episode was just incredibly done in the anime. They just went above and beyond.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Anyway,
and you got to see Bond. You got to get to that second core. You got to see
Bond.
I
know.
Bond is also amazing. I will say, without saying much more than that.
I gotta get there.
Bond is great. But yes. What do we got for predictions for Volume 9?
Oh, so I already made one of my predictions in that. Well, I guess not for Volume 9, but just in the future, maybe a future plot point, the harpoon thing.
Oh yeah, right.
And maybe the new underground working with either Desmond or some other pro-war extremists, and that could maybe cause a headache for the Forger family at some point.
Right. Yeah.
This is maybe more of a hope than a prediction. I really want them to have Forger family fun time on the cruise at some point.
Oh yeah, that's right. There may still be time for that.
There should be at least one more day, or like they're at port or something. There should be time for it.
There should be, yeah.
But it just depends on what's your status after all this. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, because to my understanding, the ship will go back, reach shore again. Like the trip will be over in the afternoon or evening of the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will have at least a big part of that day on the cruise ship. So
nice.
Yeah. So if they do finish up tonight, with all of the, the fighting and everything, then yeah, there should be some family quality time. Hopefully.
Good. I want that.
That would be so great to see. Anya would be so happy too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I really want to see that.
For sure. I'm trying to remember what happened in Volume 7, because this whole Volume 8 just was so focused on Yor and the cruise ship. It's like, okay, what were the other plot points that we kind of left?
I felt like it like at least near the end of Volume 7, it just really led into this arc.
It really did, yeah.
Built up for this one really well, introducing the shopkeeper more thoroughly and everything.
I think a prediction I have for 9, because Becky's on the cover, right? Or is it Desmond?
It's Becky.
It's Becky, that's what I thought. I think Becky will have a little thing. I know the cover does not necessarily indicate that, but
Precisely.
in the past it has. Like Frankie kind of got the short end of the stick. But the other covers have kind of had, well, I guess because the chapters just have a lot of variety to them. But I think Becky gets something.
Yeah, I was actually also gonna suggest that because I think that would be so nice. Since she is one of my favorite characters and she is on the cover, as you said. I think that would be awesome. At the very least, I definitely predict that the next volume is gonna take us back to Eden Academy again, since obviously that wasn't at all in this volume.
Right.
So we'll get to at least see Becky and Damien and Henderson and all of them again. But yeah, some actual Becky focus would be absolutely lovely. I'd really like that.
Do you think? Oh man, why are the names escaping me?
Oh.
The girl obsessed with Twilight. That's also a spy. Why?
Oh, Fiona.
Sorry. Thank you. I was trying to think of her spy name for some reason.
Oh yeah, Nightfall.
Nightfall. That's dang it. Anyway, do you think she'll finally come back into the story?
Oh, I mean,
is it time? Training in the mountains is complete.
A boy can dream. I hope so. But I guess there isn't necessarily a reason to definitely think so.
There's really no indication. There's not much indication of much.
No, sadly not. I would love to see her again though, as soon as possible. Really, that would be really nice.
Do you think Loid relaxes at all? Because it doesn't seem like he's really relaxing.
No, definitely not. Sadly not.
Yeah.
Because as we saw in this volume, he was just really whenever he was even if he was just kind of standing, looking out into the ocean, seemingly doing nothing, his mind was racing with how to deal with Anya and or everything in general, kind of the mission and everything like that. So I don't think he's really getting to relax at all, which he should. He needs to, but he isn't.
So I'm gonna make the bold prediction that he is finally going to relax just a little bit in this next volume,
That would be awesome.
And that'll be the family time. Like he doesn't.
Yeah.
He like suddenly starts relaxing, and then he like catches himself. He's like, "Wait, I can't be doing that," or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I like that prediction. That's a good one. That would be awesome. When like, and even if it's like, I guess either that would be awesome. Another thing that I could see that could be sweet, although maybe less likely, just based on his character, but I guess it could be nice as well, would be if he
make out with your like, oh what? Like, oh my gosh, Petter, you're so bold.
You know? How did you know I was about to say that?
I mean, come on.
No.
I'm sorry.
What I was sadly, what I was about to say was not as exciting. However, would be if he would try to, I guess, make an effort to try to relax, like to actually actively seek recreation and relaxation. And whether or not he succeeds, I guess that's not really relevant here. But at least for him to try to actually to seek that and to find that in himself. I don't know. I don't know how likely that is based on who he is as a person, because he maybe he wouldn't do that. But I think at least eventually, I'd like to see him actively try to do that.
Yeah,
and to actually choose to do that.
Because I don't think we've ever seen him relax. Like maybe the most we've seen is where he just plopped down on the couch in the first or second volume. I think it was the first volume.
Yeah,
he plopped on the couch just exhaustion.
Precisely. He didn't have much of a choice but to relax then, because he was just completely out of it.
But that's it, right? Like everything else, he's just constantly thinking.
I believe so, and I mean, plus in that situation, even though he did fall asleep, but once Anya kind of crept into, like, kind of snuck into his arms, he woke up and like he was still kind of tense, even though he was resting, I think, in that moment, because he woke up and kind of flung her aside, kind of, or whatever. So yeah, he needs to learn how to relax, like, for real.
Absolutely. I think that was supposed to be the point of this cruise, wasn't it? Like,
oh yeah,
in a way,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I think I forget
her name.
Sylvia,
okay.
Like the handler. I think she told him to do that. So
yeah, he's got a ways.
Yeah,
he may be the greatest spy in the world, but he's got a ways.
For sure. And about, well, I guess we mentioned it, but McMahon, I predict he will be fine ultimately, though he's probably going to be pretty out of it for now. Like, because he was knocked pretty hard, but I do believe he will be fine eventually. Like, he's going to be fine. That's my prediction on him, I guess. But that's it for my predictions. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Gotcha. Then, should we do the podcast-related announcement now, or?
I think it's a good time.
All right, let's do that. So, well, basically, for the past 17 months, we have released a new episode every single Friday. One of those releases per month, like one of those Fridays per month, has been a Titan Tea Time episode, whereas all of the other Fridays every month has been an Umami Manga upload. And we've been doing this since the start of June last year. However, since I started studying this semester, and I've realized that I sadly can't continue doing weekly uploads anymore, or at least for the time being. I guess you never know, in the future maybe we'll go back to more frequent uploads. However, I can't continue doing weekly at the moment. And so Umami Manga is moving over to releasing episodes every other Friday from now on, basically. We do still have the final episode of Titan Tea Time coming out next week. So throughout the week of October, or throughout the month of October, things are still going to remain the same. Like, there isn't, nothing's going to change throughout October. However, starting in November, Titan Tea Time is going to be over, and Umami Manga is going to be releasing episodes every other Friday. However, really, as far as Umami Manga is concerned, this doesn't actually change too much, since, as I said before, one Friday per month up till now has been a Titan Tea Time release. So Umami Manga was technically never fully weekly to begin with, like Umami Manga in and of itself. And so moving over to releasing every other Friday now, it's really only going to mean one less episode per month of Umami Manga than it has been so far, since with the way things the way things have been for the past 17 months. I think, depending on the month, of course, it's been either 3 or 4 Umami Manga episodes per month.
Yeah.
But from now on, it's going to be either 2 or 3 Umami Manga episodes per month, depending on the month. So, yeah, just one less episode per month. Sorry about this announcement, I guess. But, again, it's not going to be that big of a change. We're still going to continue every other Friday. And one little side announcement that I'll actually make is that the Umami Manga episode that's coming out 2 weeks from now, that's October 28th, will be a special Halloween episode. Ooh. So I hope everyone's looking forward to that one. Ooh. I'm very excited for it personally, because this is the first time that James and I are doing like a seasonal special Umami Manga episode. So that's very exciting. I'm not going to say exactly what it's going to be yet, but it's going to be spooky.
Very spoopy.
In some way. I just wanted to get that information out there.
Yeah, and I'm going to add on that in addition to us going to every other week, we're going to sprinkle in some YouTube content as well.
Yes.
Kind of similar to our, recommendations video that we did to celebrate 100 episodes of the podcast. We liked how it did, and I kind of liked the process of how we did it, and kind of gave me some, I guess, creative outlet besides the other video editing I do. And it was just a change of pace for me. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do it again. And I thought it was a fun way to put our opinions out there. So
yeah,
I won't say what the next topics are or when those release. It would be cool to do them monthly, but I can't promise them. I can't promise that. But at the very least, we will be having another one coming up soon, if not this month.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, for anyone who, I guess, for those listening on the podcast platforms and don't really visit our YouTube channel, yeah, we did, some time ago, a couple of weeks ago, several weeks ago, actually,
yeah.
1 or 2 months ago, 2 months ago, maybe closer to that. Anyway, yeah, we did like our first video content thing. Oh, Shino just jumped onto the desk. Just a moment.
Everybody's here.
Yeah. We did like our first video content thing for Umami Manga, but it's exclusive to the YouTube channel since it is video after all.
If you would like to see our lovely faces,
exactly, check out our faces. Check out our faces while we talk and talk about in that specific one we're talking about anime. And I think these whatever we do for the video content in the future might be a bit more kind of flexible in terms of what the I guess the topics can be. They're going to be shorter episodes as well.
Absolutely.
It's going to be more easily accessible kind of for anyone kind of to listen to without having prepared yourself by reading a book in advance kind of. So it's going to be a different type of content that I'm also excited to do some of that.
Right, and since I'm the one who's editing it, it doesn't add pressure to Petter as he's doing his schoolwork. So
yeah,
I think it's a good workaround a little bit.
Yeah, it's awesome. Sweet. Very well. If you enjoy our content, you can follow us on Twitter at Umami Manga, and it would be lovely if you'd like to support us by rating our show on the podcast platforms and subscribing to our channel, Umami Manga, on YouTube. If you like this episode, please share it with anyone you think might enjoy it too. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time when we'll talk about Volume 9. Bye-bye!
See you later! See you later, Space Cowboy.